talking about a totally different thing, and then she wrote me into something. And I was like,
we're going on a tangent.
No, we're going on a tangent, but that's why we're here. I didn't say nothing at that point, but I said something the next day. And that's one thing I will commend Barbara on. If she knows that, if she looks at it and says, you know what, that makes sense, she'll fess up and she'll say, I'm sorry, and maybe I shouldn't have said it that way. But at the same time, if she thinks it's some crap, she'll say, nah, man.
I'll hold the line.
She won't give in, and that's good, because there has to be an honest broker. And we all are honest brokers. We can be our honest brokers in our relationship. If you come to me and you're trying to put a guilt trip on me, and it's really nothing that I did, we can't go there, because once you start that pattern, and that person sees it's sort of like a predator. When they look for people who they can take advantage of, and once your partner knows that they can take advantage of you, it's a done deal.
Yeah. So we've really gone on the tangent from the original topic.
Yeah. Once a cheater, always a cheater.
Yeah. But I think we've all already said our piece about it.
Real quick. So I'll sum up my end statement on once a cheater, always a cheater. I can't be a cheater if I go to my partner and say, look, I met someone and I want to pursue that. Guess what? I'm not a cheater. Mm-hmm. That's called being honest, and then laying it out on the table, and and Barbara or the significant other might say, well, go explore that, and then come back and let me know what happens. Or they might say, you know what, like I said, have fun, but this relationship as it exists is over. So you can't be a cheater then.
So basically what John's saying is this is sort of the understanding that he and I have based on the information that he and I have shared with one another, that we've come to the agreement that this is what we will do.
Because we both expressed to each other that we're capable of some stuff that ain't good. I think we all are. We're all capable of doing bad things, but the point being is,
here's the thing about when you say bad things, it's
cheating is bad. That's what I mean by bad things.
Here, let me caveat it in this way, because there are people who are in open relationships, or they call them sometimes swingers, and it is completely okay, and it really just depends on your perspective and how you view relationships, whether you prefer, which the predominant amount of people, the majority of people prefer to be on one-on-one relationships. But then there are some people who like, okay, well, you do your thing, and I can do mine, but we have an understanding that, we are the main people, or whatever the case may be. That's their little red wagon. Far be it from me to judge them if that is what they want to do with their relationships. But there are people who have opinions contrary to those, and that's okay. And the differences in our opinions, that's what makes great discussion, the discourse, and that's what makes us all so much more individual, in the world so interesting, is that we all are different. Do I agree with everything that someone says? No. Do I feel some kind of way sometimes? Yes, sometimes. But then I kind of have this internal dialogue where I'm like, well, I start to have literally try to pivot 180 degrees to see things from another perspective. And when I do that, it helps me to better understand what argument or what position that person has, versus being so fixated on seeing things through the way that I see them. Go ahead.
Yeah. I can't remember. I really wish I could, so that I could give this person credit. But but I watched a video, and that was where the whole open relationship thing came in about, not necessarily an open relationship of seeing who you want to see on, and then having your main partner, but then we do what we want to do, but really loving with an open heart. And they said, I can say I love you, and say, but at the same time, when I want to have sex with different people, I want to. So yeah, that, I guess you can call that open relationship. But what this person said, that's called being a slave to your desires. And I agree with that. That's my view.
Exactly.
Being a slave to your desires.
That's one perspective. And the thing is that we all have desires. We all have, but if, again, this is where astrology has led me to sort of really understand or accept that we are all different, and that we all come here, because I don't know what you guys believe, but what I've come to believe is that we reincarnate. I believe that we reincarnate, that we we come back in the physical realm to learn new lessons, and in this life or the next life or whatever the case may be, the lessons may be going through a bunch of relationships so that in the next one you appreciate being together in a one-on-one relationship. So yeah, that's my belief. And I don't try to impose my beliefs onto other people. And I've learned not to do that some time ago. But
I wish I could remember the name of the movie, but it was Woody Harrelson, and I believe, I think it was Demi Moore. But it was where, and it was Michael Douglas, not Michael Douglas. But anyway, the guy basically offered Indecent Proposal.
Yes.
That right there is my example of, let's have an open relationship where I can, because I just think if you truly love someone, me, and this is just me, this is me. If I truly love someone, I do not want to share that person with anyone. I don't want to.
Truly love someone.
If I love someone. Because I don't not truly love someone.
Okay.
But if I love someone, and that's the person that I said, I want to be with you until I die, I don't want to share that person with someone physically or mentally, because sometimes mentally is worse than physically. Because it's like when someone gets involved in something mentally, that's some energy. We can all give our flesh up if we want to.
You know what? It's great that you said that, because there's an old friend of mine who said something similar. He was actually a gay male, and he thought that his partner was seeing someone else, because there was someone he was working with, and he thought that he was in a romantic relationship with he thought that his partner was in a romantic relationship with his business partner, with his romantic partner's business partner, if that makes sense. And he said to me, my friend, I don't care so much that he might have sex with this individual. It's just that I wouldn't want there to be a mental connection. And that resonated with me. Because because the thing is that's where sort of the relationship resides, in your head a lot of times. And I thought that made so much sense, because, sometimes people can have sex with people and it means nothing, but a good time. And then, and every time they think about that thing, it's just remembering that good time. But with other people, there's a deeper connection. There might be the times that you spent together, the jokes that you shared, or some relationship, vacation or experience.
A feeling
A feeling.
where there's a yearning
Yes.
to get more.
Yes.
I want more of that person.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So yeah. So the movie Indecent Proposal was, you know, if you let me sleep with your wife, let her spend one night with me, I'll give you all $1 million. And these people, you know, they were hurting for money, and it was like would change their life, but it destroyed everything. It just destroyed their marriage because the husband who finally agreed to it, and they both, you know, they both came to an agreement and said, this we can do this, we're stronger than this. Come to find out, they weren't as strong as they thought they were. Yeah. So
Speaking on the side, I'll use that as a segue to go back to the commenters' remarks about the reason why I left my husband was because my side guy, you know, basically went on to something else, and that's what they wanted. You know, to keep anonymity. There's a lot to the story, but I thought that was funny. It was very funny. But I'll just say that that's not altogether true. And what I mean by that's not altogether true, that individual didn't make a decision to go to that other person because they preferred them over me. But that's neither here nor there. But I thought that was really
I mean, you know,
funny.
I think the thing is that if we could share every single detail of everything, our videos would be way too long, and we would just have a live stream, and you just tune in when you want. It would be like a reality show.
Yeah.
Just cameras on us 24/7. And you know, because there's a lot to discussions we have that and things that have happened in our past that we you know, I could never. Well, I guess I could write a book, but
which I've actually said to him that he should probably do that because I've enjoyed hearing his tales, his historical tales, and I don't know that he will at one point, but I've already kind of given him some
title.
Yeah. about the things that he shared with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was refreshing to. It's funny because when here's the crazy thing, when you come into a new relationship, everyone wants to paint this picture like this is what I have to offer, and you if you don't take it, you're gonna miss out, and I'm good at this, I'm good at that, but I had never been in a relationship that I said, here's what I did in my past relationship that you need to know about, because.
And the thing is he only told me because I told you. I believe that
maybe
it was just like it was like a show and tell, if you will. and I think because I wasn't put off by it, because I wasn't being judgmental by the things that he shared with me, that made it easier. And that's the relationship that I want to have, period. And that's the path that I want to walk in. I want to be free to say something. So for example, if he and I are walking down the street and there's an attractive woman, I might, draw his attention to look at her behind, to look at her legs. I will do that because I'm secure in who I am. And the thing is that I know, and granted, I know that I don't have like this model-esque physique or anything, but that doesn't stop me from appreciating someone else, another woman.
Yeah, and I like when she does that, because then I have a free card to
yes.
be like critique and look and be like, I don't know, it's hold on.
Or her teeth or whatever, because he's very particular. So the thing is I know that I can't be 100% of everything to anyone that I'm in a relationship with, and I don't expect,
It's that
the same.
You see it in movies. It's probably a famous line. It's probably been said probably too many times. It's like, you complete me. Well, I mean, if I met someone who had a right arm and I only had a left arm, I might be able to say that. You know what I'm saying? You complete me. Now we got a left and a right arm.
Oh, man.
But to say someone completes you, I don't know. It's like you really have to complete yourself.
Yes.
Because if you're walking around missing things, expecting someone else to fill that void, because then when the thing is when you put the pressure on someone to fill a void, they have to fill that void all the time. And when they don't fill that void, then you now have the leverage to say to them, you're not filling that void. When it's really, like I said, it's not their job to fill a void, something you're missing. Respect, all that stuff is don't get me wrong. I'm not. Some people could misunderstand what I'm saying about, like, well, there are when I think that when you meet someone, you should define your relationship. There are expectations. That's the way I look at it.
Yes, there are expectations, but then, like, labels. For me, I'm at a stage where I don't necessarily need a label for our relationship, other than to say that we're in relationship with one another, and I'm good with that. And I think that's because
Today,
I feel like that. Because you're absolutely right, because that could change, because we're all evolving all the time. And what?
So I got a haircut today, right? And the barber, I've known her for a while. She actually cuts hair next to the guy who usually cuts my hair, and he wasn't there, so she cut my hair, and she said, she's a Korean lady, and I'm not, if I'm going to talk like she talks, don't bash me for messing up. But she was like, how your girlfriend? And I'm like, oh, she's good, she's doing good. She said, how long you been dating? And I'm like, wow. I said, this September is going to be 4 years. She said, oh my God, you're not married? And I said, no, we really, haven't really talked about that. She said, oh, you smart. That's she said, you smart.
And the thing is,
it ain't got nothing to do with being smart. We just haven't talked about that.
The thing is this. And someone actually mentioned, there was another comment where someone said that I'm
never gonna marry her.
Yeah, and I'm his pet. And
what's funny is to hear them say he's never gonna marry you. I sometimes feel it's the other way around. But it's not right now. What I will say is, sometimes I think we rush relationships. We because of society, because there are expectations. Oh my God, you guys been dating 2 years. Has he proposed? It's like almost like you feel obligated to fulfill these what's a good word?
The societal norms.
Yeah, it's like wow.
It's a drag.
It's almost like you got to look at we're coming up on 18 months. It's about I better start thinking about this proposal.
Yeah.
And then let's say you do get married, and it's like, oh, we've been married 3 years. Time to start thinking about kids. I don't want my mom asking me where the grandchildren are, and I'm ready to be a grandma.
Yeah.
Well, then go adopt a grandchild. It's like.
It's annoying.
Yeah,
honestly.
it's tough. It's tough.
But at this point, like we said in the last video, InnerRacial 4, I'm okay with our current pace of, and no, we don't live together. And was it the same person that made a comment about playing house? So, well, we don't live together. That's another thing. I enjoy having my own personal space. John's, I love how clean he is. You know, we're at his home right now, and he is, I don't want to say a neat freak because that probably, you know, kind of is a negative connotation, but he likes things a certain way. And granted, I'm not saying that I don't like things clean and orderly, but he is very particular, much more particular than I am about, you know, the placement of things and the wiping down of things and the building of piles of things. I actually like, you know, having bundles.
We all get used to our own
Yes.
disorder. We get used to our own
Yes.
disorder. And sometimes it's funny because sometimes what she considers like, oh my
A
God,
mess.
you don't want to come over to my place a mess. To me, I go over and I'm like, oh, it's not that serious. It's not.
Probably
it's not really
more than
a
likely
mess,
because
you know?
I probably tidied up a little bit
Maybe.
with some things before
I've
it got
caught
there.
her off guard before. You know? But she gets uncomfortable with that.
Yes.
But
Going on a tangent, because I don't like people to sit in my mess. I can't sit in other people's messes.
she felt good. Like she came over last week and I had stuff on the passenger side of my bed. She said, "Oh, you living like me." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sleeping with them
Yes,
clothes right
yes.
there, them 3 stacks of
Yes.
clothes." That's how I cuddle
for
up to them
me,
at night.
right, and for me, it's a stack of pillows on the right side of my bed, and you know they keep me cozy at night, and I'm completely okay with that. You know, so you know we play house whenever we get ready to, and actually that's probably going to be the subject of our next video because it took a while for me to actually spend the night with John.
Yeah, exactly.
After we met, it should be pretty short, but I think it would be a good thing for us to discuss in the next video.
Yeah.
So anyway, once a cheater, always a cheater. I don't necessarily think that is the case, but astrologically, I think that I give people a pass because I think that sometimes it's part of their natal promise.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't give no passes. No. Like I said, I just think that it's, like I said, cheating, like any other decision we make, is a choice. And
for sure.
You know, somebody used to make the joke, well, you tripped and fell, and you know, your thing. Well, you know,
right.
No.
I mean, obviously, I guess we're going into this deeper. Obviously, you know, when you have relations with someone, I've never had like a one night stand or anything like that. But when you kind of have a relationship that extends for a period of time, sure, it happens iteratively, and there's some conversations and things that sort of build up to that moment. Granted, so I understand that.
Yeah.
And it's a decision, you know, because obviously you make a cognitive decision, like, you recognize that there's an attraction. And there are conversations that are going back and forth.
Man,
right?
that could be a whole nother video because the thing is to me, from experience, you have to allow yourself to fall, because it's like sort of like, you know, when you walk into the water and it's cold, you say, okay, let me stand here for a second and get used to it, and then I can go a little deeper. Okay, I'm a little uncomfortable because it's on my knees now, but I'm gonna stand here and let it get a little. Okay, I'll go up to my thigh. Yeah, it's the same way when it comes to having an affair. There's no time at all that you don't know this is wrong. And the wrong thing is not the feeling that you're having. That's natural. You can't, and this is what I think. You can't really deny a natural feeling, but you don't have to act on a feeling.
Very, very true.
That's the whole thing. Because I've told people before, and you know, this is off the subject, but when it comes to men of who are adults messing with young women,
young girls
who are not of age, you you know, I've seen 16-year-old women with body, or young women with bodies that were adults, but
Doesn't make it
it
right.
doesn't make it right just because they have the equipment and they've matured physically.
Not
That
the
doesn't.
equipment.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't give me the right to say, well, I mean, you know, they built like a woman, I'm gonna treat them like a woman. But it's the same way. It's like you know, if you feel a certain way about someone, but you know that you're married, or you even us, you know, we've made an agreement. You know, no, we don't have to sign a legal document and go to the courthouse, but we've made, and I think that's what's special about it. We've made an agreement that we are committed.
What you said, kind of, there was something that came to mind about being single versus being in a marital relationship or a committed long-term relationship. There's this sort of idea that being single is unstable, and it's favored to be in relationship, which is why I think your barber was asking, "Oh, you're not married yet?" You know, but actually, it sounds like she was actually applauding you for not being married.
And then I told her I'd been married twice, and she said, "Oh, you butterfly, you butterfly."
But there are some people who feel like being married is the end all be all. I don't. I don't. I never did. Even before I married, I never did. And I don't think that'll ever change. Did I like being married? Yes, being married had its perks. But also, sort of, not being married has its perks. What I kind of share with John too, we're really going on a tangent, is that, you know, what I like sort of is just being very sort of autonomous. You know, I want to pick up and go somewhere. I don't have to say to my husband, "Oh, I want to go on a trip. I want to do this." I just do it because I am my own individual. Do I share now with John and I? Do I share that information? Absolutely, but I don't ask for permission. And sort of in relationships, when you're in a marriage, there has to sort of be this discussion, this sort of balance, and it limits you or restricts you. You make a decision to actually kind of have those conversations in advance of decisions. Any one person making a decision that, you know, that could impact, you know, I guess the natural sort of order of the relationship. So I just like being able to, or at least mentally, like the idea of just being able to pick up and go on a trip whenever I feel like it, or just going out whenever I feel like it, you know, because there's no one I really have to answer to.
I think the better example is, and this is probably, and y'all can relate to this. I know you can. You're out, anyone who's been in a marriage, and you're out somewhere and you go to get something to eat.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
God, don't get no Popeyes, and you ain't bring no biscuits home. Oh Lord,
You ate,
it's like you
and
ate.
you didn't bring me anything home.
You ain't gonna ask if I ate.
Right, exactly.
You be like this,
Stop.
feeling guilty. No, I need to call and tell them I'm eating.
Yes.
No, that's the fun. That's funny. That's funny.
Yes.
Yeah. But I can't believe you ate. What you have? Fish fillet.
But anyway, so you know, we had fun tonight. I think I had fun talking with you guys about, you know, once a cheater, always a cheater, and we look forward to kind of talking with you guys about whatever we decide.
You know,
the next video.
What I appreciate is there's a few things. People have asked if she does readings with astrology.
Oh yeah.
So what we're probably going to do in the future is do one segment, maybe 30 minutes on just her how she came into what she is, and how she became an astrologer, and then we'll probably do like a segment on me of
Yes.
my comedy and my passion of, you know, of doing stand-up and parodies and things of that nature, and share some things of that. So like Barbara said, it was fun tonight, and please subscribe, like,
share,
hit that bell, you know,
Yes.
so you know when we post new videos. And yeah, we're excited about this because the amount of I love people saying, oh my God, we finally found a mature couple who is talking about, you know, real issues and grown folk thing versus just, you know, we're not here to share drama or make drama, but we're having fun, and
Yeah.
we really appreciate your support.
Yes.
Truly.
Thank you.
And keep inboxing me. I'm sure. Y'all treat Barbara like a queen. I will admit that. I'm like, I feel great sitting next to the things I've seen you women and men say.
So if you made it this far in the video, we appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Take care.
Bye.